At 95 years old, Clint Eastwood still looks and moves like a man decades younger. Born May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California, USA, he has become living proof that aging doesn't have to mean decline. Hollywood has watched countless stars fade away, lose their strength, or retreat into quiet retirement. But Clint? He refuses to slow down. Even today, when most men his age struggle just to get out of bed, Clint still directs films, walks with perfect posture, and carries the same rugged presence that made him famous in Dirty Harry and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Fans look at him and say, 95? No way. He looks 60. But here's the truth. Clint Eastwood has lived his life with a strict philosophy. It's not about being lucky or having good genes, it's about discipline. He has carefully chosen what to eat, how to move, and which foods to avoid completely. In fact, one of the biggest secrets to his long-lasting energy and youth is that he avoids 3 specific foods that accelerate aging, destroy energy, and increase disease risk. Today, we're going to break down Clint Eastwood's daily routine, the diet that fuels him, and the 3 foods he refuses to eat. By the end, you'll see how these simple choices helped him stay strong, sharp, and youthful at nearly 100 years old, and how you can apply the same lessons to your life right now. Clint Eastwood's morning routine. Clint has always believed in the power of early mornings. Long before the cameras roll or meetings begin, he wakes before the sun, takes in the fresh California air, and sets his mind in order. At his ranch in Carmel, mornings begin with silence, reflection, and light activity. He doesn't overload on food in the morning. Instead, breakfast is balanced but light. He prefers a bowl of steel-cut oats with blueberries or strawberries, sometimes a hard-boiled egg, or scrambled eggs with spinach, a small cup of black coffee without sugar or cream, and always a tall glass of water. This is Clint's way of saying no to heavy, greasy breakfasts that slow most people down. For him, mornings are about fuel, not indulgence. Clint Eastwood's diet, what keeps him strong. Clint Eastwood eats to live, not the other way around. His meals are clean, portion-controlled, and nutrient-rich. He focuses on staying lean, keeping inflammation low, and protecting his energy. Here's how he eats. Lean proteins, fish like salmon or trout, chicken breast, turkey, and occasionally lean beef. Protein preserves muscle mass, which is critical for strength as men age. Vegetables, spinach, kale, asparagus, broccoli, and bell peppers. He loads his plate with green vegetables daily, whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, and oats for steady, long-lasting energy. Healthy fats, avocados, nuts, and olive oil for heart health and brain function. Hydration, plenty of water and green tea for antioxidants and clarity. What makes Clint unique is his discipline. He eats simple, clean meals, no excess, no overindulgence. For him, food is fuel, and that's why his body still performs like a much younger man's. The 3 foods Clint Eastwood refuses to eat. So, what are the 3 foods Clint Eastwood avoids to keep his body decades younger? These might surprise you, but they explain his lean physique, sharp mind, and incredible longevity. Fried foods, fried chicken, French fries, onion rings. These are staples in most American diets, but not Clint's. Why? Because fried foods are loaded with trans fats and oxidized oils that accelerate aging. They inflame the arteries, weaken the heart, and pile on belly fat. At 95, Clint has managed to stay slim, strong, and heart healthy. One big reason is that he skips fried foods. Instead of fried chicken, he chooses grilled or baked. Instead of French fries, he eats roasted sweet potatoes. By avoiding fried foods for decades, he kept his arteries clear and his waistline lean. Excess dairy. While many people rely on cheese, cream, and heavy dairy products, Clint limits them. Dairy can be inflammatory, cause digestive issues, and lead to unwanted weight gain as metabolism slows with age. Clint isn't vegan, but he understands that too much cheese or milk can slow you down. Instead, he prefers lighter protein proteins and plant-based sources of calcium, like leafy greens and almonds. By cutting back on dairy, he avoids bloating, stiffness, and excess body fat, common complaints for men in their 60s, let alone their 90s. Refined white carbs, white bread, pasta, pastries, and bagels. These refined carbs are stripped of nutrition and spike blood sugar levels. For Clint, they're a no-go. He knows that high blood sugar leads to crashes in energy, stubborn belly fat, and an increased risk of diabetes. Instead, Clint sticks to whole grains, oatmeal in the morning, brown rice, or quinoa at lunch and dinner. This keeps his blood sugar stable, his energy steady, and his body lean. Clint Eastwood's fitness and exercise routine. At 95 years old, Clint Eastwood doesn't lift weights like he did in his prime, but he never stopped moving. Movement is life, and that's his mantra. Strength training, push-ups, resistance bands, and functional body weight moves keep his muscles strong without injury. Cardio, walking, hiking, and horseback riding. Clint has always loved being outdoors, and this keeps his heart young. Flexibility. Stretching daily ensures he maintains posture, balance, and mobility. Golf, a sport he still enjoys, which keeps him active without being too stressful on his joints. The key? Clint moves every single day. Even at 95, he avoids sitting around. He keeps his body in motion because motion is what keeps him alive. The philosophy that guides him. Perhaps the most powerful secret behind Clint Eastwood's longevity is his mindset. He lives by a simple philosophy: don't let the old man in. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's his way of life. Clint refuses to let age define him. He doesn't accept weakness as inevitable. He believes in staying disciplined, keeping the body lean, and the mind active. Instead of retiring quietly, Clint continues directing films, reading scripts, and working on creative projects. This mental engagement keeps him sharp. Combined with a clean diet and the avoidance of foods that destroy health, this mindset is why he seems 30 years younger than he is. Final message: Clint Eastwood is living proof that aging is a choice. Born in 1930, he's lived through nearly a century of change. Yet he still stands tall, still works, and still looks decades younger. While most men his age rely on doctors and medications, Clint relies on discipline. He eats clean, he avoids fried foods, heavy dairy, and refined carbs. He moves daily, he keeps his mind sharp, and he refuses to let the old man in. If you want to stay strong, youthful, and full of energy, take a page out of Clint's book. Look at your plate. Ask yourself, are you fueling your body for youth, or are you feeding it the very foods that accelerate aging? Clint made his choice decades ago, and at 95 years old, it shows. He still looks 60 because he's lived with discipline, focus, and the courage to avoid the foods that age most people long before their time.